I'm retro. Let's get it. We in the chop shop, we live in the chop shop. We talking sports talk, we live in the chop shop. We in the chop shop, I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up, it's live in the chop shop. We in the chop shop, we live in the chop shop. We talking sports talk, we live in the chop shop. We in the chop shop, I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up, it's live in the chop shop. Yeah, it's lit in the chop shop. Turn your dials up in the drop top. They ain't based to debate, but they keep it fact straight. Going 30 for 30, let's do a first take on Facebook Live from 12 to 2. Rob Hatter and Jim Hicks going back and forth like Claude Ray and Skip Bayless and Stephen Smith. From on the court, off the court, straight to the field. Not a man that steals, but I made it steal. To the octagon where I fight to kill. We go face to face, then you write your will. I don't play tennis, but I bring the racket. I'm on the floor, I attack the basket. Put you in the casket when I'm overlapping. Never showing mercy, cause I'm always snapping. Never showing mercy when I'm in the arena. Step into the ring, he hit me as I beat him. Step into the court, I'm never backing down. Killing competition, I'm smacking down. Let me get back to the other stuff at the chop shop, cause they cutting up. It's retro, coming to you live to the chop shop. Now let's turn it up. Yeah, we in the chop shop, man. Shout out to Jim Hicks and Rob Hatter. You can catch the chop shop live from 12 to 2 on Facebook Live. Let's get it. We in the chop shop, we live in the chop shop. We talking sports talk, we live in the chop shop. We in the chop shop, I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up, it's live in the chop shop. We in the chop shop, we live in the chop shop. We talking sports talk, we live in the chop shop. We in the chop shop, I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up, it's live in the chop shop.
H-Town, what's up? You know what time it is. It's time for the best 120 minutes of your day. The Chop Shop, the nation's #1 urban sports talk show, and also your midday sports happy hour. Yours truly, Robert Hatter, alongside Jim Hicks, coming to you live from Houston, Texas, but we're broadcasting all over this entire world via Facebook Live and YouTube Live. We got a great day. It's Baby Thursday, Baby Friday. He called Baby Friday. It's Baby Friday. We got special guests on the show today, and I want to stop. Today is Tamir Rice's, would have been his 18th birthday. And for those who don't know, Tamir Rice, young kid at 12 years old, got killed by the police playing with his toy gun in Ohio somewhere, Cleveland, Ohio, I think. But you know what? It's one of those stories that makes a parent, a mother, make her heart just plummet. It just make you think twice about the toys that you buy your kids. Black people, we got to think twice about the toys we buy our kids. You can't buy them a Nerf gun and a water gun. You can't do that no more. And they have to, let's say they go to birthday parties and another parent give them a gift. Maybe it's a white parent to give them a gift, and they can't play with certain toys. They have to give that gift back. And I never forget, man, when I read Jimmy, they was talking about while he was in the ambulance, his mama was in the ambulance with her. She was told that she couldn't touch him. She just wanted to hug her baby. She was told she couldn't touch him because the body was evidence. Y'all, let me tell you something. It's some traumatic time for these kids. Just think about the graduation parties that never were. Imagine being a senior. All you grown folks, imagine being a senior in high school right now. I told y'all about these kids had to grow up. They were born during 9/11, and they had to deal with this pandemic during their graduation. Just think about being a freshman in college. Imagine if you was going to law school this year for your first year. One of my neighbors, his kid, this is the first time I've seen it in person. The little kid, little bitty girl, I don't know, about 5 or 6, she had to have a drive-by party. You know, we didn't grow up like that. These are so traumatic for our children, and instead of, they missed out on some of the most important aspects of their senior year. birthday parties that wasn't celebrated, the Sweet 16s that wasn't, family reunions, bar mitzvahs, all of these type of moments, y'all. School, see, what people don't understand, school is simply, it's just simply a building. It's just a building they go to. But the act of going to school is a part of a kid's socialization. It's part of their rearing. It's the part of the experience where you glean. It's a lot of experiences you glean when you go to high school. I mean, when you go to school. And having that taken away from you, y'all, is extremely traumatizing for some of these kids, man. And we just go about, I was just thinking about, it's his birthday today. And I'm just thinking about, it's his mom and what she thinking about. I know she thinking, she wish she had her son to tell my mom, can I go see her friends? Mom, do I have to wear a mask? Mom, can I use a car? So the reason I brought that up, the USA Network and USA Today, they got an article out, y'all, and I want all of y'all to go and check it out. I want to tell you the name of the article you can go to. Let me make sure I get to it. The USA Today article, great article about these black teens are turning 18 in Tamir Rice's America. These black teens, and they interviewed, I don't know how many, maybe 10, 15 students. Great article. And I got to show y'all some about it. And the reason I bring it up is, we have situations where we have kids in high school about to graduate this weekend. I just told you the trauma that these kids have been through, right? So we have a kid out in the Katy ISD area. He's the president of his class. And he just sent out a message because of what's going on in these times that, hey, we're going to kneel. I'm going to kneel. I'm the president of the first, because first of all, to be the president of student council, he got to be smart. He got to be popular. A star football player. And it was so unique that he sent out the message to, they call it reminders. I don't know all the text. I just got a text from a parent this morning that lives in that area. And a teacher caught wind of it, and she put her little 2 cents in it and talk about disrespect the flag and took. So I mean, these kids has been through enough, man. Teacher, whoever your name is, I got your name. I'm not gonna call it out on that because I don't really feel like looking down to find out your name. These kids have been through enough. They don't need you with this propaganda out there at Katy High School. So, and then I read one of the threads where somebody said, well, he hasn't been through anything. His dad's an NFL player. He hasn't been oppressed. Hey, man, I know Jimmy talking about y'all got a lot to talk over with y'all white friends. Y'all got a whole lot to talk over with y'all white friends. Because some people are just not sensitive to what's going on with these kids right now. These same kids I explained so eloquently were born during the time of 9/11. Tragedy for the United States. And then when they get ready to graduate, it's got shot down by the pandemic. It's a lot of things they can't do. So they finally get a chance to go to the graduation. And the teacher gonna come up. We got to do better. Y'all, yeah, we have got to do better. I know they don't care, Slim, but Slim, I got to call their ass out on this show. I don't care about the other people calling them out. I got to call it out on this show. We have got to do better. So that's all I got to say about that, man. But do me a favor, ladies and gentlemen. Go read. These black teens are turning 18 in the Tamir Rice America. USA Today, awesome article. And hold on, during the break, I got some, I'll play for you a piece and talk about Tamir Rice's mom. Kid just playing with a toy gun, young black man. These guys get out and shoot it. Unbelievable. But Jimmy, what you got going on today?
Well, you I think is important to mention the name of the teacher,
I
to
just
put
didn't
it
feel
out
like
there.
looking down, Jim. I was talking.
That
My bad.
way,
You can mention it.
that way, a lot of parents may look at their schedule and know if indeed their student, if it is at this particular high school. Which high school is it? Katie or is it
Katie,
Tompkins? Which high school is it?
Katie
It's
High
Katie
School.
High School.
Yeah.
Is a student in her classroom, and so her name is Thea Drake,
Okay.
Drake, and this teacher basically sent a mass message out to particular students, because this young man, once again, he's the class president, and he's uh, part of the honor society. So these are some upper academic group that she sent the message to. So obviously she must be one of the administrators or chaperones of that particular group of kids. I don't know So the group, her message in particular reads as follows. I better not see any of my graduates kneel tonight. That is a disgrace. Text back to reply. So that is the message, that the last one that ignited everything. Now this was just sent out reportedly on hours before the graduation. And now,
Jimmy, on the Facebook feed, Daryl Barnes, I'm sorry, Daryl. Daryl Barnes said, I have pics of kids kneeling at Peyto High School. And I want you to do me a favor and go check out Peyto High School. That high school is the principal of that high school is a very strong African American woman that happened to be the principal at that school. So guess what? That's why it was okay over there. And even the principal over at this school didn't say nothing. This just a teacher. And this a person who been teaching your kids. And guess what? And she probably have some black friends. So, and Jimmy, this the time for her black friends to give her that talk that you so eloquent say that you want to do. This is the time to say, what the hell were you thinking? What the hell were you thinking? I don't know her. I sure got to talk. I'd like to give to her.
The talk after an incident is a whole different talk than the preventive maintenance that you can apply.
I don't care, but she still need to talk. She still need to talk.
Yes,
hey, Jimmy. A lot of stuff that happened afterwards. Ain't that just happened today? George Floyd's incident happened weeks ago, but we still talking about it today. So guess what? It's okay to talk to it
one
about
conversation
it
that comes from that's a black white with your allies. Those can come before an incident. That conversation after that white person called.
Jimmy, but it can come after too.
But it needs white to white conversations is what whatever her black friends tell that teacher today afterwards, no, it's going to be the same. It's not going to be the heartfelt reaction or reasoning behind it. She going to say, oh, my bad. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. And keep on moving. These conversations, and everywhere you turn, I see other people duplicating this similar stance or this similar request about what I'm saying to you, a lot of blacks and a lot of the whites. You need to have a conversation with your allies before something else happens. Just to pick it, a civil conversation. And that's the thing. If you have black or white allies of the opposite race, that's the thing, because you know why? They'll be more receptive and more prone to probably hear or understand your side of the fence for understanding a more aggressive approach from somebody that they don't know. That's why. So whatever you want to talk about with them, that's each his own. But
Y'all
it could
kill me
start for
with this
hell. Why?
aggressive approach. Y'all kill me. I'm glad. Thank God. Thank you, Jesus, for making me the way I am.
Well,
Somebody got some.
well, guess
Yes. I got a echo again. I'm hearing. Somebody got a device on or something over there. It's too loud. Getting an echo again.
and so you
Turn
you
your
guys
Bluetooth off. I
understand
just
it's
think.
different ways and
Yeah,
solutions.
yeah, it's
But at
different way.
some
I like
point,
my way
at
better.
some point, okay, the same white people around you, if you hadn't gave them a check their oil through a conversation, then guess what? That's your fault. Later on, if you learn that what's really inside them has never
No,
been unleashed.
now you're trying to blame black people again. But you know what? We
No,
got
no, no,
5
no, no.
seconds until break.
No.
You said that's a no.
It's your fault if you try to act like, well, I didn't know they were like this. Just like they say they don't know things about you. That's the whole purpose of the conversation, to ignite. You're not gonna get it all in one day.
Okay.
You're not gonna get it all in one conversation.
Well, we got to take a break right quick, and we'll be back in just a moment. I'm gonna play the clip from Tamir Rice's mom.
This is his first nap all today. He got some muscles in them legs. See mama. Oh my goodness.
Getting pulled over by the cops is like fear. It's fear.
This isn't a new thing. For me, growing up, whether it be Tamir Rice, Trayvon Martin, people who look like me, people who are my age, regardless of if people know it or not, they see us a different way. I just want to be respected. It doesn't matter if you like me, it doesn't matter if we're friends, it doesn't matter if you even know me. But if I have your respect, then nothing else really matters.
I mean, Tamir was very athletic, so he could have got a scholarship to play soccer, basketball, football, anything. He loved to make his family laugh, play jokes and stuff. I mean, he was only 12 for 5 months. He's a very talented little boy. I really don't know what he could have become because America robbed me of that. Yeah, they robbed me of it.
It hurts, it always feels like, wow, it's still going on, wow, it's like over and over again. But like, for me, that's fuel to my fire. We can advocate for real change, at the state level, with the laws, the power of the people that rise out of that is beautiful.
I just want to be understood. So often I feel like people look at me and they don't know what to think. They don't know where they stand. They don't know how to act. And I want people to be able to be comfortable around me, to have these difficult conversations, because I want to educate people. I want to make sure that we're all like happy and we can all be agreeable.
To watch all of that, especially Yamana, Barry, and
Welcome back to the best 120 minutes of your day. The Chop Shop, the nation's #1 urban sports talk show, and also your midday sports happy hour. Yours truly, Robert Hatter, alongside Jim Hicks, coming to you live from Houston, Texas. We talk about a great topic. I started the show off talking about it's Tamir Rice's birthday. If you have just come on the show, it's his birthday today. And I just played a clip of his mom. I'm going to play the other part of the clip because it's a long clip and another break. But, I was just thinking about his mom and just thinking about what she's thinking about. Her son would have been 18 graduating this year, but she don't get a chance to. And then we got kids in Houston and Katy area graduating. And then we got the teachers coming on social media telling them none of my kids better not kneel. So, I mean, y'all, we didn't say, nobody said this was going to be easy. We got another fight on our hands. That's why I've been playing the Malcolm X and the James Baldwins. We got to go back to those principles those principles that those guys laid away to make the little change, the little progress we made. I am not after progress no more, ladies and gentlemen. I'm after change. Progress is not good enough. We need change. And guess what? All of us are not gonna agree. Everybody didn't agree with those guys back there. Y'all reading the book backwards. Everybody didn't agree with Martin. Everybody didn't agree with Muhammad Ali. Everybody didn't agree. Some of us ain't coming. Everybody your color ain't your kind. Some people are house Negroes. So guess what? You can't worry about them. So all I'm telling you, man, I'm watching Katie. I go to those games. I bet you that teacher in there, rah, 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 rah for them black bodies. In basketball and football. As soon as a kid do something that she don't like or her ideological, whatever she feels, no student. And she is in authority. She teaching y'all kids out there in Katy. That's why I had to bring that up. I had to bring that up. You know, I'm not tap dancing around it. I had to bring that up, man. That's a situation, and parents, you choose. You want to move out there, Katie, or let me tell you, or get together and get her replaced. Or sit her in front of the firing squad. And to me, you don't have to talk to her nice, like some people said. The hell you doing talking about my kid? My kid was the class president, got a scholarship to Sam Houston. But y'all somebody else on the feed gonna say, he ain't been oppressed. I hope y'all didn't miss that. Somebody on that feed said he ain't been oppressed. His daddy is in the NFL. His mama is a teacher. He haven't been Really? This same LeBron James, LeBron James had the word Nigger written on his gate in an affluent community. Come on, man. That's all. But what else you got, Jimmy? I know we got a guest about to come on in a minute, a special guest. But I just had to, yes, we know about the quarterback from Katy. Yes, we know. Thank you, Mindy. But Jimmy, you can take us into the next guest if you want to.
Well, as all conversations, first thing you ask, okay, what are you going to do about it? Now, if you can ask yourself that, what are you going to do about it? And you have a call to action within self or within your immediate outreach, then you implement your solution or your action or reaction. So just in case if you might be confused and might not know what you could do about it at this point, allow me to help you guys with some intel. And so on the Facebook feed, I'm going to post right now a pair of phone numbers for you. These phone numbers may come in handy to some of you who may be concerned about this teacher, Thea Drake, over at Katy High School.
She getting a call from me.
Superintendent's office is posted, so that way now. Also the phone number to the principal's office at Katy High School. And the reason I posted those, meaning I'm not inciting you to do so. I'm letting you know if it is of concern, which it should, because it could be your kid next, or your next door neighbor, or your nephew, or your little cousin. Then you give a call and voice your thoughts. Here's what happens. Two things happen. They go eventually take the phone off the hook, which will impede their day-to-day operations. of getting the stuff done, because most people right now ain't working on Fridays. They working Monday through Thursday in those offices because there's no actual school in session. Number two, they're gonna realize that people are concerned. If we keep just blowing the air in the direction of each other, thinking we got to do stuff. This is the way they do a lot of us. They make those phone calls, they send them emails, and we laughed. And back in the days, we call, man, why they snitching? Why they acting like the law? Well, guess what? Them acting like the law would end up getting the law enforced in their favor. So the way you beat or defeat some of that is to meet or defeat them at their own game. And that is access those numbers if you wish to and call it. So now we get into our next guest, and great conversation as on Thursdays. Last Thursday was special. We did something, had Roland Martin and a lot of other friends and dignitaries that came on the Top Shop. You missed it. Great show.
Council
so we abbreviate.
Council member Shabazz.
Yeah, and I said dignitaries and of such. Mm-hmm. And so now we didn't get to talk grassroots last week. So now we're back to our routine of Thursday grassroots conversation, and we have our first guest is from Houston, Texas. Ironically, last week was a flavored celebration from the Yates High School and their accomplishments this year, and also to introduce a lot of people that we may have not known as a community that were alumni of that historic high school. A lot of people may not, for real, they have not known that so many of these guys that went to this school. Now, our guest now also went and graduated from Yates High School in the year 2003. And he went to college, made the family probably rich. Family's from Gary, Indiana. They're not too good of pluck players. I can add that to you now. I can let you know that right now. From firsthand experience that they can't play cards that good. But they can count, but they can't play cards. Dominoes might be their game. I don't know. But Gary, Indiana, and family can move to Houston. Dad played baseball. ESU. My alma mater. So that's how he ended up coming to Houston and started his family, to meeting his lovely wife, and next thing you know, he gave back through the community through his outreach, through the faith-based outreaches. Now you guys remember, this young man came through Yates, got it out the mud, then all of a sudden an opportunity transpired, and he played sneaker ball one season. Played about 4 events of sneaker ball, maybe 5 or 6, I don't know. And his whole life changed for us, and the rest of his life has been as a result of his hard work and dedication. And the most important thing, came and gave back to the young men of this generation that are going in similar steps, meaning trying to find a way for a free education, and by the means of using basketball as a common denominator. Without further ado, I introduce to you guys PJ Coons. That's PJ mean Prince Jr. And that is welcome with the Cougs Elite program. Welcome to the Chop Shop, PJ. What's going down?
Nothing much, man. Just happy and excited. This is my first time. I've probably been the most talked about person on this little Chop Shop, and this is my first time on here, man.
he said, look, the little Chop Shop.
Oh, I heard that, Jimmy. Jimmy, I was gonna let it, but Jimmy, I'm so confident in what this Chop Shop is. Let me tell you something, Jimmy. It ain't what they call you, it's what you answer to. I'm not answering that, PJ, but welcome to the show, man. Welcome to the show.
I had to get Jimmy, that plug jab. I had to get him back.
Come on, man. Come on. Because he probably said that little old Cougs Elite program over there. He probably came out his mouth. That probably came out his mouth.
Plenty of time.
Yeah, okay.
I ain't say little old, but meanwhile, I am going to take the time out to give a shout, speaking of Yates in that area, I'm going to take time out to dramatize. Shout out to young Kellen Farouk, and young 12th grade kid who invented his own hand sanitizer a few months ago, guys, down in Houston. Germatize. Go look that up. Get your bottle if you hadn't done so. Every single person that I've introduced to that sanitizer has been blown away. And I mean, seriously. Now back to you, PJ, and just take us back to the high school days and your recruitment. Because a lot of people, we got time to talk to you, and we're gonna try to go back and pull back and go all the way back to before when people didn't know who PJ Coonsnor was outside of District 195A or whatever that was you guys were part of with Yates back in the days. Tell us what brought you to baseball, being the son of a brought you to basketball, being the son of a baseball player.
Man, just the opportunities. When we moved to Houston, I was really good in baseball, but
hold on,
there was
PJ.
no baseball.
PJ, 1 second before you say anything. Do you have another device that you're listening to the show on?
Nuh-uh.
So you don't have a show. We getting a feedback some kind of way. We're getting a feedback, and I don't want you, because you got something good to say. We're getting a feedback somewhere in this thing. So go try to continue. Yeah.
Yeah. So
better.
I moved to Houston, and there was no baseball diamonds in Third Ward. We moved right to Third Ward, so that kind of ended the baseball career for me. My dad tried to keep it going, but through his outreach and stuff like that, but it just was no like high level baseball opportunities. So picked up a basketball and a football, and my dad used to train us at the parks, all that, in the Bayou Landing, CUNY Homes, all the projects in Third Ward. We used to go to park and just play. And I ended up going around middle school and getting to Yates. And by the end, Eddie Barlow was just leaving Yates under Coach Wilson. And I remember like yesterday, Eddie Barlow was leaving, and Coach was like, man, who's going to be the next Eddie Barlow? And, and the whole gym raised their hand except for me. And Coach called me out. He said, man, PJ, you don't want to be like Eddie Barlow? I said, nah, man, I'm going to be better than Eddie Barlow. And I took that approach, and I kind of lived by that whole approach throughout my life and my career. And, that's why Barlow is like one of my idols. And I'm so happy he's part of the Cougs Elite organization. It was a dream come true.
That's good. Jimmy, we got to take a break, but you can go. We can give a follow-up question, and you can have a break.
No, we end up tossing to the break, and we come right back. That way it gives everybody out there a chance to share the show to your timelines and to your friends so that they can get some of this conversation. A candid convo with PJ Coonsnor on the Chop Shop on this Baby Friday. You guys out there, I see you out there in YouTube. I mean, on the YouTube land. Shout out to you guys as well. Give us a thumbs up, if you will. As we go into the break, come right back, and we will get into it to what the making of PJ Coonsnor. Chop Shop.
Even know me, but if
Because America.
But like for me, that's fuel to my fire. We can advocate for real change, at the state level, with the laws, The power of the people that rise out of that is beautiful.
I just want to be understood. So often I feel like people look at me and they don't know what to think. They don't know where they stand. They don't know how to act. And I want people to be able to be comfortable around me, to have these difficult conversations, because I want to educate people. I want to make sure that we're all like happy and we can all be agreeable.
To watch all of that, especially Yamana Berry and George Floyd, it actually kind of took breath out my body to have to watch that, just the same as it took breath out my body for Tamir. And to hear what happened to Breonna Taylor, that was also sad, very sad. It's a lot for a lot of us to deal with as Americans, feel like we living on edge at this point. And I'm trying to honor my son's 18th birthday and can't even do that because they keep killing us. They keep killing us.
Being a young black man, it's a traumatic experience, man. My stepdad was murdered. I had a teammate who was killed. So I experienced the plights of black people on top of just going outside and being scared. And I have to wear my Harvard hat because I feel like it's a shield. It's tough when you feel like you have to change who you are in order to fit the mold of the world, in order to be safe.
I just want to be, as of right now, at peace. So I'm like blessed to be black, and I'm also a little a little nervous. You know, you never know what's gonna come up, never know what's next.
Okay. Goodbye, everybody.
Welcome back to the best 120 minutes of your day. The Chop Shop, the nation's #1 urban sports talk show, and also your midday sports happy hour. Yours truly, Robert Hatter, alongside Jim Hicks, coming to you live from Houston, Texas. We got a special guest in the building, Cougs Elite, the captain, the HNIC, the guy who make that thing work, PJ Cougs. Man, I am so glad to have you on this show, because maybe the mamas, your Cougs Elite's mom, they got their own name. You know, you're a program that, you know, I used to never hear about the Houston Hoops moms, the Defenders moms, or somebody else's mom. Your program have so much support from your moms. They got their own. They probably got their own Twitter handle. And probably got their own their T-shirts. So
they did. I had to shut the Twitter handle down.
But you know what though? It makes me proud. It tells me a lot about you, young man, that those people ride and die, and they support you, win, lose, or draw. And I think I told somebody this a while back. I don't know if somebody told you this. I think it's a model that all programs, without the extra, but I think it's a model that all programs, all parents should support their kids. Coach came on other day, Johnny Estelle. He said some key, and I think it probably went over a whole lot of people's head, PJ. He said he want his parents to be ambassadors of his program. That's what I see your parents. They are ambassadors of your program. And, you know, I haven't had a chance to tell you that, but I've said this on the show before. But I just want to, if I knew nothing else about your program, your leadership, I had to know you got to be a great man, because you got people that believe in you, and not just 1 week, not just over summer, but over time. So shout out to you, man. Yeah.
Yeah, that's just being a servant. You know, like I'm the head person. So some would say, but like I don't really do anything. Pagan, Clay, the Kuzma, everybody else do everything. I just take all the heat, you know, and I just try to be a servant at all costs. You know, I don't have no ego. I'm not one of those guys that want to be, oh yeah, this is my pro. I don't walk into the gym like, yeah, I run Cougs Elite. I done had full conversations with people about Cougs Elite, and they talking to me and asking me, and I never say, well, it's my organization. You know, I never say that. I'm not like that. I don't want to be like that. So I think just being a servant is the way, you know, around me that truly know and that's truly around me. They know I serve and sacrifice anything before I try to beat my chest and say this is mine, or I run something.
And a follow-up, Jimmy, right quick. I just want to follow up for what he said. What I'm thinking about, I'm watching your players, okay? I'm watching them in other arenas, in high school, how they support each other. Your players, I watched the picture that you took of all your graduates. Let me tell you something. See, I got a affinity and a love for all the kids. Houston, Memphis, all the places, Phoenix, every place that I've lived, Atlanta, every place that I've had a home. You manage these guys actually, I'm not saying it's perfect, PJ, and you had to probably get in between a couple of them. But I watched, come on, man, I know, I got 5 brothers, 5 sisters. So, but I'm sitting there amazed at the love and the respect and the camaraderie, I think that is, and they seem like they really look. If Ruben playing, I see some of the other players in the game. If the other players playing, I see Ruben in the game. I watch. They don't know I'm watching them, but I had to just being on this show. I have to pay a lot more attention to summer basketball and high basketball because Jimmy, the guru is on here. I mean, I wouldn't have never thought I would be talking about nobody's high school kid unless he was Kevin Garnett or Kobe Bryant, because that's how I've been trained. You follow me?
Yeah.
So, but now I want to know the secret, if you don't mind, to help everybody. I know you can't give them all your secrets. What's your secret to keeping your guys? You don't tell them all. You give them all. You know, like Jimmy said, you give them some of the ingredients to the gumbo. Don't give them all of it. But I just like to see more programs, the kids looking out for each other like they do in your program.
I mean, it's just honesty. You know, I talk to the kids every day, and I'll be honest with them. I don't sell them on something that they can't get, or sell them on something that's not possible, or tell them that they dreams are something they can't be reality. You know, I tell them all the time, if you want something, you work for it. Those guys like genuinely loved each other. I could say at practices, we couldn't scrimmage at practice. If the scrimmage was more than 7 minutes, it was going to be a fight, because all of them were so competitive and they all wanted to win so bad, and they all cared about winning more than they cared about their individual stats or individual credit and stuff like that. And constantly talking with them every day, all day. Like I was in a group chat with them. I don't even do group chats. People tell you I don't respond to group messages, group me's, none of that, because I started in the group chat with them, and Lord, they got on my nerves. You know, it's all day, every day, all day, every day. So they are the reason I don't do group chats and group me's and group messages, because of that 2020 group. They just talk all day, and like that's the key, man. They all knew each other. They all played against each other. They all compete at a high level. It's hard, even as grown men, that you see in the industry, in the grassroots industry, compete and not take it personal. Like I seen D Brown go head to head every day, try to kill each other, but as soon as we brought it in, they inseparable, you know. So like at that maturity level that a lot of men in this industry don't have. They can't compete to the highest level and then okay, it's over with. You know, some of them let it linger. And that's something that them kids did not do. Like they was over it. If something happened, we lost the game, okay, boom, 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 it's over. As soon as we get to the van, they back family. And they took the family, the Cougs fam, like they really, it's something that they built. So they took it extremely personal, you know, and to make it successful.
The first Cougs team was what year? And tell us how you managed to get them all together. How did you end up plucking? Because, you know, this was just a few years ago. So the emergence of summer teams were peaking and spiking upward already around the area. So how did you manage to go and get these kids? What part of town did you get your first batch? Tell us about that.
Well, the first batch was me being from Third Ward, and Clay, the other, y'all know Clay. Clay is the other person that runs the Cougs Elite. He's not on, like, he don't have no social media. You don't know him if you don't know him, you know, so he ain't on social media. He probably hate that I'm saying his name right now, but he's coached in A-Leaf. So our first batch was kids from Third Ward and kids from A-Leaf. And we had the camps and stuff like that, and they were young. And they wasn't like, none of them was tall. None of them was super athletic. None of them was just kids that other teams would come steal and come pick off. So we used that to our advantage. We just told the kids, look, we're going to be that team. We're going to be the team that everybody wants to come to. We're going to be the team where everybody want to play. We're going to be the team that get the marquee matchups. I mean, like, we literally remember it like yesterday. We was at the Gasso in Dallas, and we like in the back. We like in the 11th gym. And to get to our game, we didn't walk past six games going on. And we like, you know, we took it on the chin like, man, one day we're gonna be the main game, you know, like that. So to fast forward it all the way to last year, we Texas Titans in Buff event in Dallas, Duncanville, to showcase the prime game that everybody wanted to see. So I mean, it's just growth and constantly growing, even if you grew this much, you know, as long as you grow every day, you could, you know, achieve what you're trying to achieve. But that first batch was A-Leaf kids and Third Ward kids.
And what age was that team? What age was that first team?
Ooh. What, probably fifth grade? Yeah, I want to say we had like Remy Minor. It was a young group.
So you just had one team.
You started with them.
You just had one team at first, right? Just one team at first.
Yeah, we just had one team at first.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was young. It was one team. So then because I was still playing professionally, so it was going back and forth. So we went from Cougs to we was Team Sims to Showcase, and then our freshman year, I think that freshman year is when the boys decided, hey man, we just want to be Cougs, and so that's when the official Cougs team we just stopped changing names and stuff like that.
And we're getting ready. How long? We almost to the break.
Got 3 minutes.
Okay, we got 3 minutes. Now, first, you mentioned earlier about your parents' program when they also had, your dad also had a summer program.
Yeah.
I remember it was the ICY.
Yeah.
They had the ICY on their shirts, reversibles, the old-fashioned way. You put them old black and white, right?
Okay.
Hey, Yates High School even used those ICY jerseys. They didn't have the budget at the time. Back in the days. Yates didn't have no sponsorship. Greg Wise wasn't at Yates back then.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So they didn't have the Nike sponsorship that they have now for the varsity program. So tell them what ICY stands for, and what did you get from that experience to take into the Cougs Elite?
Yeah, so ICY is Inner City Youth, and every kid in Third Ward knows about that program. The Third Ward has been a part of that program because it wasn't only basketball; it was baseball, football, cheerleading. It was everything. Like my mom had the girls working, and my dad had all the boys. So he's been doing it for like 20-something years, and just, you know, investing in the kids in our community, and that's why. In Third Ward, like my daddy bought Yates their first shooting machine. The first shooting gun that they had at Yates. Mm-hmm. My daddy bought it, you know, and I wasn't there no more. My brothers wasn't there. It's just doing stuff for the community. You know, a lot of these people so-called give back to the community, but we've been in the community streets for 20-something years. Ain't nothing changed, you know, outside of what we could do for families and stuff like that. So like, you know, we actually invest in these people's lives and invest in these, like anybody in the neighborhood know, I give them the shirt off my back, you know, and that's not only me, that's anybody in my family. And that's the name, the legacy we want to leave behind. You know, when we done, we want somebody else to pick it up. And for sure enough, like we've been working on things ever since the George Floyd incident, you know, that was hit too close to home. So we've been working on things. We got more stuff. I think we got a break. I'm good.
No, you're good.
Come on.
Okay. Oh yeah. So yeah, in Third Ward, we've been getting together with a bunch of companies and businesses. So we started it's called ourblackvisions.com. Ourblackvision.com. So if you check that out, it's basically giving back to the community with a couple businesses that we own in the community, and a couple of our friends that kind of grew up through my dad's organization. That's, you know, kind of, because my dad introduced us to sports, he introduced us to education, he introduced us to how to be business people. So it's a lot of success stories, not just me, that came from my dad's organization, that Inner City Youth, the force that's in Third Ward that used to be for our people. My dad was the one that had that idea about the land, did everything, and kind of got that started, you know. So it's like so many elements of what my dad did that trickled down to me. That's how I knew how to move and maneuver and not only affect these kids on the basketball court, but make them think. Like, I don't talk to Jahari every day about basketball. Every time I talk to Ruben, it's not about basketball. I talked to Fat yesterday. Like, it had nothing to do with basketball. So just the aspect of growing and being men and learning how to maneuver. PJ Henry, I talk to him all the time when he's in school. Hey, make sure you got your class, this class, that class. Just more to it than basketball, and just really trying to affect lives.
And indeed, that you are doing. What we do is we go toss to a quick break and come right back with PJ Coons with the Cougs Elite. And also, guys, later on, another part of PJ Coons that has popularized him around the state of Texas. He's also a high school coach.
Oh, yeah.
And you guys get to learn about that and a lot more when we come right back on the Chop Shop.
The police are able to use the press to make the white public think that 90% or 99% of the Negroes in the Negro community are criminals. And once the white public is convinced that most of the Negro community is a criminal element, then this automatically paves the way for the police to move into the Negro community, exercising Gestapo tactics, stopping any black man who is on the sidewalk, whether he is guilty or whether he is innocent, whether he is well dressed or whether he is poorly dressed, whether he is educated or whether he is dumb, whether he's a Christian or whether he's a Muslim. As long as he is black and a member of the Negro community, the white public thinks that the white policeman is justified in going in there and trampling on that man's civil rights and on that man's human rights. Once the police have convinced the white public that the so-called Negro community is a criminal element, they can go in and question, brutalize, murder unarmed, innocent Negroes, and the white public is gullible enough to back them up.
Hello, basketball community. This is Brian Jolivet with Above All Sports Hoops. The Houston National Summer Showcase is scheduled for July 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Games will be played at the gym in the MI3 Center. Registration has been very, very good over the last couple of days. We're trying to wrap up registration by Wednesday, June 24th. So please visit us at www.aboveallsportshoops.com to register. Call me should you have any questions, 281-414-8103. Thank you.
Welcome back to the best 120 minutes of your day. The Chop Shop, the nation's #1 urban sports talk show, and also your midday sports happy hour. Yours truly, Robert Hatter, alongside Jim Hicks, and our special guest, PJ Cougs from the Cougs Elite. We in the building today. Man, you know, I'm just thinking about it, man. I remember when your dad was first working on the forge a long time ago. I remember, you know, I guess I used to come up to Yates so much. Oh, Alex Davis was playing up there. And I remember that gun they used to shoot off, your dad did. But it's just amazing that a young man, I didn't realize you went to Yates. I didn't. You know, I wasn't in the city as much. I was traveling a lot when y'all were in high school. Even when TJ was in high school, I never seen him play. And but Eddie Barlow, I didn't get a chance to see him. Now I'm understanding the connection. Eddie Barlow coming back to coach. He playing in your program. See, this is history. This is Black history, and I'm just learning. So keep talking, because now I understand a lot more of what's going on. And you even admitted yourself, you're a guy with few words. You don't say much. You just sit back. You're a man of action. And but thank you for coming on today, man. I mean, you're still on. I just appreciate it, because I wanted to know the man behind this vision, because I'm looking at your kids. I'm looking at your work. You follow me? I'm watching your work, and I just wanted to see who the man was. So I'm glad you're on the show. But Jimmy, where did you want to go from there?
Yeah. We was talking about the ICY. I want to take you back. Of course, you guys may not with PJ Coons. A lot of people may not know you are also a coach at Legacy, the School of Sports Science, and you've been there for a couple of years. And also on your staff is, and a couple of like buddies from way back when you were in high school, arch rivals and friends alike, are teachers and on your bench. And so you look at you think about those relationships that it is cultivated throughout the years. Now, as a result, you're able to help other black men to not the young men, but black adults in economically in the means of way of helping to provide jobs for them. Meaning that one would be Chip Cartwright, came out of class of 2003. Hell, he was your arch rival in high school. Yep.
Hey, look, we go at it every day to this day. If I see him, he came to the school with a Wheatley shirt on a couple weeks ago. I say, man, come on, man, what are you doing? I gave him a hard time about it. We constantly go at it, but Chip was one of my good friends. I like this game. We kind of similar. We don't do a lot of talking, as far as when we on the court and stuff like that. And I always respected him as like one of the best guards that I played against. Back in our day, Hicks, all of us played against each other. Like we all was kind of in the same district with Tag D. Gill, Jawan McCullough. So we all played against each other. I had
Keep on talking. He'll be back.
Yeah. Now, meanwhile, we got some audio difficulties.
And he always impressed me. I want to be as heady as he was.
You good, PJ? Jimmy just transitioned. PJ, you just
what we do?
You buffered a little bit.
We do have go and toss it to a quick 30-second and give them some of Jolivet or one of the quick breaks, and we come right back as we patch PJ back in. We want you guys to be on the.
Hello, basketball community. This is Brian Jolivet with Above All Sports Hoops. The Houston National Summer Showcase is scheduled for July 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Games will be played at the gym in MI3 Center. Registration has been very, very good over the last couple of days. We're trying to wrap up registration by Wednesday, June 24th. So please visit us at www.aboveallsportshoops.com to register. Call me should you have any questions, 281-414-8103. Thank you.
Peacefully. Freedom is never safeguarded peacefully. Anyone who is depriving you of freedom isn't deserving of a peaceful approach by the ones who are being deprived of their freedom. And when black people in this country come out from under the mental straitjacket that the Negro clergymen have placed them in, and begin to see that the only way you can get freedom is to get it the same way the white man in this country got it from England, or he says he got it from England. He was willing to pay the price for freedom. When you're willing to pay the price for freedom, then you get it. But the Negro in this country has never been willing to pay the price for his freedom. All of the price that we have been paying in the past has been freedom for the white man. We fought abroad so that the white man in America could be free today to sick police dogs on us, to beat our people in the heads with police clubs, and to turn water hose on little women and children and babies simply because they want to walk down the street like decent human beings. Now, the only way you can have peace is to eliminate those injustices, and the American white man is not going to eliminate them. He's going to talk that pretty talk, but he'll still continue to practice those inhuman deeds.
Boy, a lot of that stuff goes on today. PJ? Jimmy, you there, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't tell me he froze again.
Yeah, he froze again.
Damn.
That's all right. We'll get him. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
Now we're back on the Chop Shop, and we got PJ Coons with us, taking us to a blast to the past of, we was talking about legacy, which is the now, but we will eventually take a blast to the past. We were talking about the importance of some of his support staff on the basketball program, with like a Chip Cartwright, and then you have a Chad Ware, and of course you mentioned You mentioned Clay and the rest of those guys. So, and then you have a guy like Alfio providing them, a media a component. You're talking about a former ex-star at University of Texas. So, I mean, it really is.
And you got Carrie
like
Brown. Let's not forget about Miss Carrie now.
Yeah, Carrie and Danielle Canada and all that right there. And of course, Mr. Brown. Mr. Brown, that is, does that, I see the connection. Because your demeanor, Chip Cartwright's demeanor, is similar to Mr. Brown's demeanor, the former Texas A&M football star. Y'all three of us, is that something
Cool.
how y'all get along?
They just cool. PJ?
What?
PJ,
is he there?
Mr. Reggie, man, we love Mr. Reggie. He walked through school. It's just like a cool wave just walking through the school. His demeanor, him and Chip probably say less words than anybody I've ever met. Like last year they probably got 12 words between them.
Wow. Wow.
So, and speaking of that school, so now, BJ, you went and you made noise during the off season. And it eventually pissed some people off, which it always do. But you didn't get one transfer. You didn't get two transfers. You got like 6 rising seniors. I can tell you it was 9th grade. You got 6 rising 12th graders to vacate, influence somehow, indirectly or directly, influence them to transfer out of their high schools, and they're going to join the movement, the basketball program at Legacy for their last year. Tell us about that and some of the feedback that you've received from, a lot of those schools or school districts.
As far as the feedback, like I'm one of those ones. If I don't respect you, I don't really care what you say. It don't affect me. But like the kids that we got coming over, I think it was a great idea and great job. I think it's the best thing for them. Like I always say, a lot of people always want what's best for kids only when they could provide it for them. Like we are in a position to where we play now. We go up to Sunrise. I mean, if you really want to play the best teams in the country, it's a no-brainer. And I think all of the kids that we all got, they were moving anyway. Like by the time I got word that they was moving, I was like, oh, hold on, let me throw my hat in there. So it's not like we plucked them from a school. We just picked it off like an interception or so, because they was already moving. So we had, a lot of people say a lot of things, and like I just said before, people only want what's best for kids when they can provide it for them. And that's my way of doing. Like if one of these kids came to me and said, if Ash Smith came to me and said, Coach, Mount Verde just called. They want me to come play power forward. I'm going to say, Ashton, go to Mount Verde. Like, go. And I've been the same way with my Cougs kids, same way with any kid that crossed paths. I just had a kid yesterday. I talked to his parent. He was thinking about coming over. He was like, Coach PJ, man, I think we just got a better opportunity to go here. I said, man, look, that's great. If he need to get in the gym, he need to use the gym. Okay, cool. I'm out. He's like, man, I didn't think you would. I'm like, listen, man, like a lot of people say they want what's best for kids. Like I truly want what's best for kids. I got a kid right now today that I wake up every morning and check social media, check his account just to make sure he's still alive. So like, because the life he live in, the places he be in, so I'm not worried about a kid saying, Coach, I got a better opportunity. Like that don't bother me. You gotta ask any kid from our Cougs kid, they're like, oh, Coach, this team copy this team. If it's truly what's best for you, I'm going to support it. I'm going to say, okay, it's time for you to go over there. Like Cougs kids train with Ruben's training with Teddy. Did people not see Xavier, how good Xavier Will is? Mm-hmm. Like, you think I'm going to tell Ruben, hey, don't go, what? Are you crazy? Like, and not only Teddy was, when I was coming back from overseas and and training at the Forge. Teddy was in the Forge with Jermaine and Xavier and all his little kids. Like, so I'm not opposed to what's truly best for kids. Now I would tell kids, hey, don't get caught up in this, don't get caught up in that, and make sure it's truly the best thing for you. But if we both come to the agreement, or you say, Coach, I think this is the best, I'm going to support it. Like, I'm not going to just say, well, no, I'm not that type. I'm not that guy.
That's good to hear, because I have run into that thing with TJ sometimes. If I had a son that was a point guard and TJ would work him out, I don't care what program I am. I'm gonna go let him work him out. But what has happened is, and I'm just glad to hear that come out of your mouth. What has happened is I guess the summer coaches and the summer guys are a little territorial. They don't want what's best for the kid. They want what's best for their program. And sometimes, if I thought the way they thought, I could have understood. Because sometimes you got to look at both sides. And the guy might say, well, if he go over there working with TJ, he might not never come back. But TJ ain't trying to steal your kid. And you just said Teddy Wheeler, who's with a whole nother program, is working one of your best players out. And you said, man, I got to let him go do that. If more of that happened, see, PJ, this city has got to get better. John Lucas came on this show a few weeks back. I don't know if you heard about it. He said the city of Houston is not doing a good job of cultivating our great talents. We got one of our best players leaving and want to leave Houston and go somewhere else. He said, Houston, we got to do a better job. And I would like to hear your comments on that, because, I mean, just think about it. Our top players should not want to go play on nobody else's summer team in Oklahoma or nowhere else. Our top players shouldn't, but from what I hear, these guys here chop each other up so bad that parents just sit back and call me and say, Mr. Hatter, if you hear what these guys say about each other and they all affiliated, she said, you would sit back and say, I don't want to mess with none of them.
Yeah, but it's true.
But okay, so back to what I said. John said, Houston, we got to do a better job. What? How? And it was my fault. I did not get him to explain it.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? Why Houston got to do a better job?
I think, like you said, the top players leaving, but I also think because the lack of opportunity that they would have. Like, if you look at the McDonald's All-American list, 22 of them or 21 of them came from a school kind of like ours, right? So when we got kids to come over to our school and trying to, what was the first thing that happened? Everybody was in the uproar, right? But it seems like other cities and other places have different goals than the city and goal we have. Like, my thing is not.
And PJ, go back, PJ, because I don't want nobody to miss that. You said something that 21 out of the 24 kids who are McDonald's All-Americans this past year attended schools like yours. Explain to the parents who don't understand what you mean by that. And then we're going to take a break.
It's hard to, most public schools have so many rules to where you can't do certain things. So it's hard to, like, a public school couldn't play the schedule that we playing. So the schedule that we playing, you're going to be in front of all of the top scouters, the top recruiters, the top coaches. So you get a different level of recruitment. You get a different level of teams and personnel walking through the doors, and you get a different level of exposure when you're at those type of schools. That's why a lot of kids are not really at these public schools. Now, if you're just sensational and you're at a public school and you just hands down one of the best, that's good, you know. But like Hicks always say, it's politics and everything. And sometimes you got to be in the right places to get what you want to do. We get what you want to get.
Jimmy.
So on that note, we go straight to the break. Come right back with PJ Coons and continue the conversation, and also we'll open it up shortly to him to address a lot of your questions.
Hold on, Jimmy.
Conversation.
Hold on 1 second. Keep talking because I hit the wrong button. Keep talking.
Gotta close it up, and I toss one question to you right now, PJ, and get this. This is from Byron. He says, ask PJ how we took 5 kids, no subs, to the Under Armour Nationals in Kansas City when they were 11 and under, all 5th graders, and played up. You remember that?
Yeah. Byron and Chris, 2 of my Ace Boone Coons, man, they ran me crazy that weekend. But yeah, I coached for the 11U had a prior engagement during nationals, so I had to go down there and coach. I think it was my 11U or 12U team, and we end up with just 5 kids. You know, I just told them, man, play with house money, have fun. I didn't raise my voice one time. The whole thing was have fun, and seeing kids like Team Thrill, Team Thrill or Team That, one of them, they jumped on us real bad. I mean, they had kids tall as me, and I went down there, nobody was taller than my waist. So they jumped on us real bad, but the kids, they got emotional and got, down on themselves. I'm like, hey man, look, it's 5 of us, just have fun. So my whole time, like with the young kids, the way I go about things changed from high school kids to middle school kids to elementary kids. I don't treat them all the same. I don't expect all the same. And by high school, you really realize if you really want it, So when they that young, when I'm coaching, I'm gonna say have fun at least 100 times a game.
Okay, we'll take a quick break.
So now we go.
Yeah, Jimmy, because I see some questions on there I want PJ to answer, but we'll take a quick break. We'll come right back.
About the Negro. I mean, every other group that came as an immigrant somehow, not easily, but somehow got around it. Is it just the fact that Negroes are black?
That's a part of it, and that grows out of something else. You can't thingify anything without depersonalizing that something. If you use something as a means to an end, at that moment you make it a thing and you depersonalize it. The fact is that the Negro was a slave in this country for 244 years. That was a willful thing that was done. The Negro was brought here in chains, treated in very inhuman fashion, and this led to the thingification of the Negro. So he was not looked upon as a person. He was not looked upon as a human being with the same status and worth as other human beings. And the other thing is that human beings cannot continue to do wrong without eventually rationalizing that wrong. So slavery was justified morally, biologically, theoretically, scientifically, everything else. And it seems to me that white America must see that no other ethnic group has been a slave on American soil. That is one thing that other immigrant groups haven't had to face. The other thing is that the color became a stigma. American society made the Negro's color a stigma, and that can never be overlooked. So I think these things are absolutely necessary. The other thing is that America freed the slaves in 1863 through the Emancipation Proclamation of Abraham Lincoln, but gave the slaves no land or nothing in reality, and as a matter of fact, to get started on. At the same time, America was giving away millions of acres of land in the West and the Midwest, which meant that there was a willingness to give the white peasants from Europe an economic base, and yet it refused to give its black peasants.
Welcome back to the Chop Shop, your midday sports happy hour. Shout out to our guy Cyril Wright is on the feed right now.
What's up?
And checking us out. He's our resident China Chop Shop.
Ni hao.
Person.
Ni hao.
Sound like a damn cat call.
That's
I ain't
all
know what the
right.
hell
That's how
doing.
they say it over there. That's
I'm
how
about
they
to go
say
get
it.
my puppy. I'll get my puppy on your ass trying to meowing around here. Sound like a damn AKA or something on there, man. I ain't know what the hell Paddle was doing over there.
Wow.
Get in the chair.
Wow.
you have an affection for the ski wees. We know that.
I got.
So now, of course, we have with us PJ Coons with the Cougs Elite grassroots program. Also, he's the head coach of Legacy, the School of Sports Sciences. And we were going through talking about tossing a couple of questions to you from the Boom Boom Room. Meanwhile, before we get back to that, we want to ask you guys if you would be so kind to take out the time right now to share the show. Can you share the show? And we just do a mass share. I'm going to share myself right now as we speak. I'm sharing the Chop Shop to my timeline. And that, we're going to do a mass. It's a share block.
Hold on.
We're going to do a block of sharing
to
all of our combined viewers and watch the result. And it's going to show you something, how the viewers are going to spike over there. Mind you, there are dozens of people, if not hundreds, that are watching right now. And you may not see them on the counter.
Jimmy, hundreds.
Yes. Because we can tell from our software.
Yeah,
trust me, guys, that you may not see. You might not see on the timeline, and that's because a lot of people may not want you to know that they're watching. There are a lot of college coaches. There are a lot of high school coaches. A lot of people that you would be surprised as who are watching the Chop Shop. We have PJ Coons now. In the last segment, he replied to any of the criticism that people may have had toward Legacy, the School of Sports Science, and what they are receiving about 5 or 6 transfers. He addressed that, which was well spoken and well done. And now we were talking about your schedule, and you mentioned about that and about a lot of opportunities to play against other teams. And you had during the process, you mentioned about the amount of players that from this year's McDonald's game, which would have been played in Houston, Texas, had it not been canceled as a result of the pandemic. You said 21 of the 24 selectees were from high schools that you said are like Legacy, and how to ask you what do you meant by like them, and I think you went to explain. So basically, for those who missed that, just recap what do you mean? What did you mean by that again, so that people get it clear?
Oh, I mean, so our school, with the way we're set up, we're able to go play national teams, play on a national schedule, and be in front of the right people that kind of make those decisions. And we're in front of them multiple times. So in public schools, they're state ran, so it's kind of hard for them to be able to travel as much. It's hard for them to be able to, it's so many rules and so many red flags and yellow tape for kids to basically get the opportunity. Because like it or not, I know everybody that picked up a ball, no matter what type of ball it is, you always hear only 2% make it in professional sports, or only 2%, 3% do this, or people 1%. Yeah, people always hit you with that, right? Because there's no system set up for you to succeed, right? So how am I gonna succeed in that in sports if I can't go play nationally during school time? I'm waiting 8 months. I can't go see no better competition, or I can't go be in front of who I need to be in front of. Is it really set up for us to succeed in sports?
But PJ, PJ, stop right there. Because I got there. Because if you say too much more, I've been forgot. I'm an old man. But I just want you. So you saying if you go to a normal high school, you can't succeed in this? So you're saying high school basketball is not set up for you to succeed? Regular?
No, I'm not saying.
Okay, help me out.
I'm not saying that.
That's how I took it.
Yeah, I'm saying your success is determined on your work ethic.
Okay.
So your individual success, and God, that's on you.
Right.
I'm talking about the system in order for you to get the best opportunity in sports. Well, I'm not talking about the school system in general. The school,
No, I'm talking about basketball. I'm talking about a basketball player.
So had
okay, help me.
So let's take me and you for example.
Okay.
Right. You go to, let's say you go to Yates.
Okay.
Right. Just for example, that's the school I went to. So I'm gonna use that school. You go to Yates. I go to Legacy, the school I'm at.
Okay.
We're the same build, same everything. We got the same jumper, same everything.
Okay.
Right.
I got you.
You're at a school that only allows you to play out of state 2 times.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So let's say your out of state games are the top 2 teams in the country.
Okay.
1, 2, boom.
Okay.
Right. I'm at a school that allows me to go out of state however many times our schedule fits it.
Okay.
So you go and play the top 2 teams, but I go and I play the top 10 or 12 teams.
Okay.
At the end of the day, which system is going to help you more if you're trying to play collegiate basketball or basketball beyond that, if that's your goal?
Great explanation.
Because I'm from
now I can give you the counter.
Good. I love it. You just saying this. Your school a lot. What you got, Jim? I'm sorry.
I'm saying I can give the counter to that.
Okay, go.
I mean, and the counter to that would be this. In your now that's a general assessment of your program. Now specifically with Legacy basketball program in 2020.
Okay.
Because this is where you've gained all of the attention from good and bad.
Good and bad.
You saw me? So we're just gonna give attention. So here's where, and understand, guess what? And the thing about it, and I'm gonna tell you something. What probably keeps you afloat as far as in the public or is that at the end of the day, the conversations always dwell. There's nothing that a people can do that attacks the character of PJ Coons. There's nothing that a person can do to attack the character of a Chip Cartwright or a Chad. You see, so that is on your side. There could be, you can substitute any of you guys with a number of guys in Houston as coaches at that school, and it would be a whole different result right now. Now, here's what I'm getting at. And you just think about that. Just fill in the blank.
I put that.
You guys are so.
You guys that on my notes. Back what Luke said about that comes back to what Lucas said. That was my answer to what Lucas said about city. Like if it's a different person in this position, it's a different result for Legacy, right? And that's the same with grassroots. That's the same with a lot of things. It's the people that's in the position to do some stuff. That's who you look at. Like, I'm not in the position to do more than what I'm doing. You know, like, I don't have an NBA top 100 vote. I don't have a McDonald's All-American vote. I can't dress kids and I can't say, okay, Houston, give us 3 Nike teams. I'm not in that position. I'm not in, whoever, like, what, Dallas got, 3 or 4 EYBL teams?
Yeah.
They got something like that, something crazy, and they got 9, 10 kids on ESPN. I'm not in a position to do that. Now, being a politician, if I was in that position, we'll have more than 2 Nike teams, or we'll try to get every kid. But like I said, I'm not in that position, and that goes back to your point, Hicks. It's the people in that position to do that. Like how to say, the egos gotta go. Yeah. Like if we got 14, 15 kids that could possibly do something great, why not do 14, 15 kids? Why not let them be great? You know, so it's like, I personally, like John Lucas is basically my, whatever Luke say to me, it goes.
Me too.
I listen.
We get to arguing, but sometimes.
If Luke say Cool, I need Coos to do something. I need Coos to be here. Guess what? Coos gonna do it. Coos gonna be here. Cool. Everybody don't have that. I'm not doing that for everybody. You know, like I have a circle. Hicks know if Hicks call it, hey, PJ, you know, me and Hicks go at it all the time. We joke all the time. He can't play pluck and all that. But if Hicks called me on some stuff like, this need to happen or this need to happen. Like, it's certain people that's in a position that can make people move. But the position that we need for the whole city to move, the right person not in that position. And I don't know who's in that position. I don't know who to talk to, who I need to talk to say, hey, why Houston only got 2 EYBL teams and we like the 4th or 5th largest city? Like I'm not in that position.
I got somebody who can tell you. He got a hat on. He the only one on this show that got a hat on. I got somebody who can tell you. I promise you.
I'm one of the very few times in my life I can compare to 45. I ain't had nothing to do with it.
Wow. PJ.
Now back to the question.
Come on, Jimmy.
Back to the question, and this goes, I tie in a question from the Boom Boom Room, and we will get to a lot of your questions shortly in a second, guys. Hold tight. We just cruising along, PJ. We got 30 more minutes.
Yeah, we good.
We got now. Here's the question that I will toss to you, and this is actually ties in to remember I said I'm coming from the other side.
Yes.
Yeah. And here's the question. Man, my question is going to be twofold. The first one is from Angel, and Angel says, "But can't you play those other top players during the grassroots season for in the case for a lot of those kids?" That's part one. Now, part two of the question, that way I just unloaded in your lap right now. Most of your transfers are 2020. In all likelihood, of those players, how many of those now, of those transfers, would you say are legitimate Division I prospects of your incoming class of transfers?
So to answer the first question about the grassroots, like if you're not on one of those premier teams, you don't get to see the top players in the country. Like everybody not playing the same skills of the Hoops played, Defenders played, Harden played, Cougs play. Everybody don't. So if you're not getting the chance to see those top players, and tournament directors, event operators, they're not gonna even match you up if you don't have that caliber type players or that big name guy to get you on that stage. So everybody don't get to see that. And as far as the transfers, we have 4 seniors transfer. We had 1 sophomore transfer, and let me make sure I got it right. 1 sophomore and 4 seniors transfer. It was 5 total.
So
out of the 4 that,
how many of them?
All 4 of them are got offers already, if I'm not mistaken.
So that's where I'm getting to now. My question comes in. The first one was from Angel. If all 4 of those, we are pretty safe to have Division I offers coming into before they even suited up with your program. By the fact that they are in 12th grade, the national signing date will be the 2nd Wednesday in November. Before you get to play against any of those programs nationally, of those 4, it's safe to say at least 3 of them probably will have signed letters of intent with those schools. So for that same reason, that's the general reason for the next kid to come that comes in 9th or 10th or the 11th grader, that really don't apply to that 12th grader coming into the program because he's already signed. So the exposure that he's going to get is not going to be at the same magnitude.
Yeah, like without a doubt, but Aaron or John didn't get an offer till they came to Legacy. So only Ashton came with offers already. And Aaron, I think Aaron probably had 1, but a lot of these schools that Hicks, I talked to a bunch like you talked to a bunch of schools. They never seen them, never heard of them. We got it's so many schools calling and waiting on, man, who is this Brian Miles kid? Who is this Brian Miles? They haven't been in the position to be seen or, especially with AAU being cut like it is because of the pandemic. So now these guys, I doubt that they sign early because their recruitment is just opening up. Like schools are just starting to find out about them. People are just starting to call them. And I mean, at the end of the day, like I always say, you can ask them. If you want to, you could get John on. You could get Aaron on. You could get Brian Miles on. You could ask them what has Legacy done for them in their recruitment since they announced that they was coming to Legacy. My selling point to them was, hey, you can either be in the magazine or you could be on the cover of the magazine.
Whoa. I like that. Say it again.
I say you could either be in the magazine or you could be on the cover of the magazine.
I like that, Coach.
I
like that.
And let me tell you something. So the questions that are tossed to you, and sometimes from some people will dwell on the question, and then there's others who will dwell on the response. Mm-hmm. So I'll let you know while we're in progress of this conversation, I'm impressed with your responses.
Yes.
Because this is not an effort to convert nor convince anyone why they should or should not attend Legacy, the School of Sports Science.
Right.
But this is an opportunity, a very candid and rare opportunity for a lot of the viewers out there to at least have an understanding as to what's making you tick on this side of the fence, what's making you understand it. Because now people say, well, and then there's other one. I give you this opportunity to answer this dose of criticism as well. And the next batch is, well, you go and you pluck, you meaning the school, and this is the slang, not necessarily mean to take it literally. You go and you pluck these kids from these other schools. Why you haven't plucked from Yates?
Because I went to Yates.
Nah.
Hey, and at the end of the day, I would never pluck a kid from Yates. And two, like, I have a circle. Everybody have a circle.
That's right.
Shadow Creek off limits. Like, I constantly communication with those guys. Like, me and Coach Wise, I get advice from Coach Wise. He mentored me. Like, Coach Wise let me know everything that I need to know and everything that I don't need to know. We talk constantly every day. And then another one, like I said before, all the guys that I got were leaving already. I just happened to intercept the final destination where they was going. They was planning to go somewhere else. And then I found out, like, I got a call from, I ain't gonna tell you who told me, but I got a call from, like, hey, you need to call this person. They leaving this school. You need to call this person. They leaving this school. I didn't tell these kids to leave the school that they was leaving. They was already leaving. I just happened to find out they were leaving, and I said, hey, I'm on a national schedule with you or without you. Our schedule gonna be the same. Like, either you gonna get a chance to play on it or you're not gonna get a chance to play on it. Like, so
PJ, I got to have a slight tweak to it because compared to your school and public school, Yates going to Hawaii, Yates going to Phoenix, Miami, Yates going everywhere. So all schools are not the same. So we got to throw Yates in your. Hold up. Let me look. Hold on. They got Miami, Chicago, Phoenix, Portland. They just can't make it to Portland. So you must be talking about all the rest of them schools, not Yates. And you're right, because don't nobody else have a schedule like Yates High School and like y'all. So you can't forget Yates. Now, I know you just as a slip. I got your back. I'm just helping you. We got to put Yates in there too. Okay?
Oh, no. See, Yates, but like, again, Yates is on that level.
Okay.
Last time I checked, they got, a national championship.
Yes, sir.
They're a national household name.
Yes, sir.
Like, it's Yates is established. Remember when I was talking about the McDonald All-American, about the public schools? Like, if you're a school like a Simeon, it's a public school in Chicago, like, they're established as one of those schools. So you could do what you can do, and you could do what you want to do from a Yates.
Hey, teacher, I'm raising my hand right now. Because Angel,
what you got?
Angel came on and said, hey, these, hold up, these comments coming so fast, y'all. Angel said, I don't think we're addressing the bigger issue here. Why so many of our players leaving and wanting to leave their high school? why so many players leaving or wanting to leave their high school. Could you help me out with that, PJ?
Like I said, when I got wind of the guys that we got to come to our school, and we that enrolled into our school, they were already leaving anyway. So the fact that I'm not at any other school, I'm only at Legacy, so I don't have an answer of why. Kids leave Legacy. I know why they leave Legacy.
You have some people left you? You have some kids leave you? Legacy?
A few seniors. A few seniors.
Hell, he bringing in a half dozen damn near. Somebody ass ain't gonna play.
Hey, look, no, a few seniors that graduated. They graduated, so they left. Okay. But if it's a school like one of our kids, like I said, I'm for the best opportunity, and I'm always honest with all the kids at the school. I'm telling them all year, listen, our goal for this school is to be established as one of the national powerhouses in basketball. So you either got to get with the program. There's no other option. You got to get with the program, and so I like that. I don't know why kids would want to leave their school or why kids are leaving. I don't know. I don't blame nobody. Like I said, I got a small circle. I talked about 6 coaches that coach high school, and I want to say this: Coach Prez and Coach Posey at Shadow Creek. When I first got the head job at Legacy, those 2 guys helped me out a ton. Okay. They helped me with scheduling. They helped me with whatever I needed, from practices, practice plans, everything. So the guys over there, I have the utmost respect for. They are truly genuine good guys.
Man, this is unbelievable, Jimmy. This is so good, PJ.
Now, of course, you guys make sure.
Hold up. I suppose it'd be going to a commercial, but I'm finna pay for these commercials. I'm Jimmy. I'm gonna go in my right pocket. I'm gonna pay for these next We ain't going on no break, cause you and them Cougs moms on this Facebook feed. I'm glad you're not on this Facebook feed. This is my entertainment today. Jimmy, I'm gonna pay for this entertainment. What's your next question, Jimmy? I'm just having too much fun.
Yeah, we got plenty, and what I do is I feel remiss, and I like I say, I want you to be able to have an opportunity to, once again, to people get the chance to know you. A lot of people knew you from your days playing at Yates High School. A lot of people know you and went from your days at Wichita State. Went in there and started for I think 3 years at Wichita State. And at that time, Wichita State had one of the longest pipelines of kids from out of Houston, that of any college, out of state college in the country. I think there was a Houston kid on their roster for about 12 years straight playing.
That's true.
Not just on there as a walk-on, playing. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I think it went from Randy Burns to
Mo's still there now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Udizi. I
didn't realize. Okay, and Mo, yeah, it's still with Mo, but it broke off and it picked back up with Mo. And before him, you had Darrell Green, went there for a while, and other kids. But they had a long streak. Mm-hmm. And of course, the young man that played with Marlon Lowe, I can't think his name, the 6'6" kid. But
Zach Brown.
What's his name?
Zach Brown.
Zach Brown.
Oh, Zach.
And
yeah.
I mean, long streak. Now here's one of the questions I want to give. And Coach Duffer asked, how many of your new kids are academically qualified to go to a D1?
All of them. They all come from great educational backgrounds. Mm-hmm. They all had the transcripts passed with flying colors. They come from great schools for education. Even Brian Miles was at a school in Louisiana that's one of the top academic schools in Louisiana before he even came to Madison last year. So they are academically, they're fine academically. They only need classes that a senior would need. I don't think I'm a person of action, mm-hmm. and I'm a person that don't say much, but if you watch anything that I do, I move the right way.
Okay.
And last year, like I'm not gonna do it if it's not right.
Gotcha.
So we already checked the grades. We checked they all will graduate. They all will be able to sign to any school they want to sign to. So like the redundant question of, oh, what about the academic? Or come on, Nate Lacewell scored a 1250 or something on the SAT and signed with San Jose State. No problems, no red flags. No, our academic, last year, our academic, our AD, athletic director, she was the NCAA compliance for conferences, not a school, for conferences. So like, know your information before you ask non-smart questions. You know what I'm saying? Like, as far as like, serious. As far as like,
just uninformed.
Misinformed questions. You know, like we had a school. I want to say I would put our old AD up against anybody as far as knowing the rules of the NCAA. And I mean, she know them to a T. I think she got them remembered, which is crazy. Every rule, everything that you got to have to be academically qualified and academically eligible to play at the next level, our AD has it covered. Like, that's the least of our concerns.
And I mean, great, awesome, as far as the legacy, the School of Sports Science, and want to move on and ask you about, you mentioned about recruiting. Somebody asked about how many was D1 qualified. We want to ask you relationships, because your college career helped establish some relationships that you have today with some of the college coaches abroad. And not to mention, and that was pretty much everybody out there who played basketball or with sport you may have partaken in. You have relationships, but yours would combine. Do you think that success of your Cougs Elite basketball team, meaning that the amount of ass for which they kicked, the attention that you have amongst from your college coaching allies?
Yeah, without a doubt. Like, I tell everybody all the time, like, any program that asks me how we did it and how we established this and how we was able to sustain it, when them first 13, 14 college coaches that came to watch us play when we was in the 9th grade, they was doing me a favor. And then they seen that, okay, I got some talent, I got some players, and then it attract more. But my college days, one thing about me, I always been the same. Like, anybody that I ran across, they couldn't tell you that I'm not a man of my word and stand on whatever principles I stand on. So I don't have any bad relationships out there with any coach that I ever played for, any coach that ever coached me. And not only me, what a lot of people don't know, Higgs, about my family. My brother played Division I college basketball.
Evansville.
My sister played Division I college basketball. My cousin Elijah Johnson played at Kansas Division I college ball. Like, so we've been around the block. We done had so many people in our living room, had so many people not only know us, but they get to know our story and get to know what we do in our community and what we do for the people around us. So we just build so many genuine relationships. Like, college coaches, when they come to Houston, they'll come sleep on my mom's couch just to be over here playing cards like Hicks know, playing dominoes. My mama will cook for them. Like, so it's not just like I got a player relationship. Like, we talking about genuine relationships that coaches that we know personal information about each other that the average AAU grassroots coach wouldn't know, you know. So I think they got a lot to do with it. And to be honest, I think they had pretty much everything to do with it, with the success that we had, because we got the attention from the college coaches. Once they knew we could play, the attention became genuine.
Can I got a question for you. Jim, I got a question for you. You got a great relationship with President over there, right? At Shadow Creek.
Yeah.
How come Ramon didn't play with Cougs Elite?
Man, listen.
I mean, if you don't want to, I had to ask that.
Well, put it like this: me, President, and Lupe are really, really cool.
Lupe.
Okay. It came up, but you know, he's where he needs to be. Like same like with you asked me about Bryce Griggs.
Yeah.
The whole Bryce Griggs situation. I think Bryce Griggs is probably one of the best players I ever seen play high school basketball.
Wait a minute.
Wait a
minute. Hold on. Let me hold on. Whoa. Say that one more time.
I said I think he's one of the best players. One of the best players I ever seen play high school basketball.
What could he? Wait a minute. Could he have got at your place? Would he go into California? You can say it. You can say it. You got a national program.
Every situation is different, and that's one thing that a lot of grassroots people, not y'all too, but like parents got to understand. People got to understand. Coaches, every situation is different with every kid.
You're right.
Bryce is in a situation to where he had to go. Like we believe, a lot of people in the city believe he the best thing smoking.
Yeah.
A lot of people that's around him believe he the best thing smoking, but he had to go to a place where he could prove that he's the best thing smoking. When he joined that team, he know our eyes gonna be on him every game. We not on that level yet, as far as where we play against the local YMCA, 30 schools and 30 scouts gonna show up. We not there yet.
I like that.
Right?
I like
he went to a place where he has to basically build your own brand. Is something that I tell all my Cougs kids and my legacy kids. Like you gotta build your own brand. Bryce is in a position where he has to build his brand for him to be
what he want to be.
McDonald All-American. And what he want to be. Like it should be nothing wrong with a kid for wanting to be a McDonald All-American or wanting to be what you want to be in basketball. It shouldn't be looked down upon. Now I would say this. We're gonna do everything in our power to try to bring him home for the senior year. I would say that.
I love that.
Now,
hey, call me.
Speaking of the high school. Speaking of the high school situation, a lot of people. I'm gonna take you guys back on a blast to the past, so that people have understanding of Houston. Your legacy, the School of Sports Science, is understand by far as brick and mortar is the best constructed campus of any of the charter schools with a basketball program that we have seen. That as far as that is focused on trying to be a national program with basketball, it is in Houston. It started, in case you guys know, back in the time when you were in high school, PJ, a school that was in a situation that is to legacy. However, they didn't have the minus the brick and mortar part. They had a school, they had dormitories. It just wasn't as exquisite as lavish or as convenient as legacy. This was Heritage Christian.
Yeah.
By Jerome Tang. They played that national schedule, right? And the difference maker, people, they got the fair share of kids here and there, but the thing is, either two ways out of the well. And I'm telling you something that's giving you, and while I'm sharing facts, I'm giving you some advice at the same time.
Yeah.
That is, one way out is to go same way out with the Cougs Elite. Go and kick a bunch of ass. That's one way out. It ain't no sidestepping that. Yeah. You're gonna have to. You not only must you do that, you are expected, and it was required, and the future of the national draw for your program dwells heavily on what you going to do this season.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you, you might not look at it like that after the loss, but I'm telling you why it's 0-0 on the clock. Number two, which you don't have time in 2020, and that is to find or attract a McDonald's All-American. Heritage Christian, they end up attracting a McDonald's All-American. who was Von Wafer.
Yeah.
Von Wafer came from Louisiana prior to his senior season, and the rest. The next thing you know, the Heritage Christian, they didn't go and go undefeated. You don't have to go win all the games if you have a McDonald's All-American.
True.
You see the difference now?
Yeah.
And I'll explain to you that in just a second. After Heritage Christian came Gulf Shores. Gulf Shores was conveniently located pretty much in Houston, albeit on the south side of the Maine of South Maine, right? But Gulf Shores, they ended up attracting what? A McDonald's All-American, Gerald Green.
Yeah.
Gulf Shores, they went around the country. They got their fair share of lumps, but you don't have to win like that if you got a McDonald's All-American. After Gulf Shores came Christian Life. Christian Life was located on the north side of Houston, over on 59 in the church. I forgot it's changed hands now, right by 59 and Rankin Road. Christian Life had Carlos Wilson and a couple other guys at the helms. Guess what they did? They traveled the country, attracted a lot of kids. They had though, but made the attention gravitate. A McDonald's All-American, and what his name was?
Vanderbilt.
No. Christian Life had DeAndre Jordan.
Oh, DeAndre.
You see the difference now? I'm getting at the string. So then you move on from Christian Life. Then it had a gap. We had other schools came, like Livingstone's Christian, that was funded and spearheaded by David Salinas, who committed suicide almost 10 years ago. Then Provision came along. Provision had a good plan. However, you got to either win a bunch or get a McDonald's All-American. Provision didn't win a bunch. So then you lost your luster. You lost your fizz. It wasn't the same, you see? So then after Provision, Victory Prep. Victory Prep came. And who did they get?
They had Vanderbilt.
McDonald's All-American, Jared Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
Provision got their heads beat in around the country sometimes. People wonder, they don't, but if you got a McDonald's All-American, that's care. 2 ways out of this. So then after Victory Prep, of course, you guys now, Legacy is on board. You're up to bat right now. We've seen the movie, but not necessarily in the same theater. Now, your screen may have surround sound, JBLs everywhere. Now, you are the first to have this concentration of the top players in the area at one time. The top concentration. Remember, it was at Victory Prep. It was Jared Vanderbilt and the Seven Dwarfs.
Yeah.
To be real.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a bad team.
People trying to go.
You didn't have nothing to do with that team, did you? Yeah.
Nah.
Okay.
Only team I had something to do with that Hicks just ran off is Heritage Christian.
Oh,
they played us first.
Okay.
He don't speak of that too much.
That was
y'all did play. And you played Heritage Christian. Or Yates did back in the days. They gave them a game, and now a lot of schools, as you saw back then, if you knew, think back on it, PJ. So I would encourage you to call a Jerome Tang.
Okay.
Yeah.
And have a conversation with Jerome Tang. Mm-hmm. Call a Carlos Wilson. Right? Mm-hmm. Call a Torrance Hicks, who was the coach at Livingstone Christian. He was assistant coach up under Jerome Tang and at Christian Life. Yeah. Those are 3 of the guys. Call those guys and ask them about some of the same things that you are facing right now, as far as the anger amidst your community. Those guys faced it well. It was a full-fledged mutiny among high school coaches against Jerome Tang. One of the reasons that Yates played him, because Yates wasn't part of the local high school chapter at the time, the coach.
Mm-hmm.
So get there. That's what I'm saying. That way now you're tapping into the guys who've done it before you, and you can pick up ways how to navigate around it. I just gave you 2 ways that's at the end of the day, but way before midnight strikes, you got to get noon before you get to midnight.
Exactly.
So I just gave you what happened at the strike of midnight. Either that shoe gonna turn into a pumpkin, or in a broom, or you're gonna be going right off into the sunset, and you could have the opportunity to create something that can go and pass and make a difference. That's the thing. This right here.
Good advice.
I think, like, without a doubt, I'm always willing to learn You know, I'm never one of the ones that say, "Oh, I got all the answers. I got that." I talked to Torrance Hicks.
Right.
He PJ. I think I will need to help you with your scheduling and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
One of the good is crazy. I had to say how it all come together.
Yeah.
So, Sunrise Christian Academy.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Sunrise Christian Academy. They've been one of the powerhouse schools for the last what you'll say about 7 years, 6-7 years.
Mm-hmm.
The guy that started that was my host parent at Wichita when I went to Wichita.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So now he's a collegiate coach.
Yeah, he just left. Yeah.
He just left Wichita 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So like I'm constantly on the phone with him, constantly how do I get this done? How do I get that done? I call him all the time. Talk to him all the time. He's been great at mentoring me through this whole situation. My thing with our school, I think I told Carrie, I said, Carrie, I got a 5-year plan I said we should be playing on a national schedule within 5 years. Luckily, you know, by the grace of God, we doing it in year 3. I would say the difference between us and those programs is, like you say, Jimmy, they had McDonald's All-Americans. Like, they was open 1 year, probably open 1 year, had McDonald's All-American in year 2. By year 3 or 4, they was already fading out. Like, I'm setting this up to be not only extremely good, but have multiple McDonald's All-American, not just chasing one kid or one person or building this whole thing around one. We building it. A lot of those schools were built around that McDonald's All-American. Like, a lot of that, the basketball and the opportunities of the campuses was built around the McDonald's All-American. We building ours on the school first. Like, legacy got to prevail first. And then once legacy is at a level, then, I mean, not only sports-wise, but academically, not just basketball, football, baseball, every sport will be on that level to where not only we putting out a McDonald's All-American here and there, we putting out agents, lawyers, doctors, we putting out everything. So it's not just circling around how many McDonald's All-Americans we get. And I think that is going to help us withstand this whole long tenure that I plan on being there.
And
now, Jimmy, I got to share this one, Jimmy. Unless you got a hot one.
What you got?
I just got, because Charles Ahmet, he said De'Aaron Fox and Quentin Grimes were both McDonald's All-Americans, and they stayed at their public schools. They created their own legacy at schools they attended. Then he mentioned if Cade Cunningham had stayed at Arlington Bowie, he would have still been a McDonald's All-American. Could you talk to that?
But then that goes again, like, then again, they might have just signed on, so I don't know if they're paying attention or not. If you do Fox, he would have been maybe, 1 or 2 out of that class that didn't come from a school like this. I'm not saying it's not possible. And I also said, if you're sensational, it don't matter. Like,
you did say that.
It don't matter where Greg Brown went to school at, he was gonna be a McDonald's All-American.
Yeah.
It don't matter what Quentin Grimes went to school at, he was that special. Like, De'Aaron Fox was that special. Okay. So it don't matter. They don't need the politics when you're that special. Okay. So so maybe he just signed on. I've been said that, been addressed that. Of course, you always have the people that try to find, but maybe like I said, he just wasn't on when I addressed it.
He signed in late. You got to understand, everybody don't stay on for the whole 2 hours. So,
but that's why I said maybe he just signed on late.
It wasn't nothing against.
Yeah, I said if you sensational, it don't matter.
Okay, but Jimmy, what would you have? What you got?
Marquisha, did those other schools that I just mentioned have other sports programs? I don't think so. That's right. Which means the foundation for legacy off the top is vastly different. They have a championship football program, and the kids are going to college for free for football. That part may very well be so for the vast majority of the schools. Not all of those schools did not have only basketball that I mentioned before. I was just basically laying the understanding, Waukesha, as opposed to what's in this city. This is not the first rodeo with this type of program.
Right.
Now, for many people who may have just moved here because of Hurricane Katrina or whatever the world may be, may thinking like, uh-oh, here they come. We've saw this in Houston. Hell, we've saw it, not to mention in Texas when Deion Sanders came with the prime prep and the Arlington. I mean, we've saw it. And the thing is, what I want to explain and give you the ceiling on this. Everybody who came, I've had the conversations with every single one of those programs. And I promise you, their vision was on path, was in sync with what you're saying about building and you're living happily ever after with this program. Here's what happens. If you get that McDonald's All-American and or you kick enough ass, as I mentioned before, them two ways out, you escape Alcatraz, so to speak. Yeah. Here's what is likely to happen. You remember Finley Prep when they came around? Mm-hmm. Finley Prep had a nice decade-long run, right? Mm-hmm. The last guy they got from us, including Winston Shepard, they ended up getting Kelly Oubre back in 2013, right? Well, Finley Prep, as much success that they had, their head coach at the time, it ended up being as lured away by the college ranks. Yeah. You see? So he was offered a more lucrative opportunity to get into college coaching at the Division I level. He did at UNLV at first, now he's at UTSA. That was the head coach at Finley Prep for most of those years until C.J. Washington's dad took over, right? Well, if you kick enough butt, or if you end up getting the McDonald's All-American, based on your basketball resume, what do you think is going to happen to you? You're going to be lured away. And it's going to be, and it would be, we're not going to entertain that topic, ask you would you stay or not. That's we're not going to get and treat you like that right now. I'm just saying, letting you know what's the ceiling of success. It comes with a price and with a sacrifice, no matter what your vision is. Yeah. If you do it well enough, opportunities are going to open up for you to go. Then that means, and it happened at Heritage Christian. He got Von Wafer. They kicked a little butt. You guys kicked their butt at with Yates, and Bowman Ozan kicked their butt at University in High Fives Pavilion. But that's what happened with Tane.
He got Baylor.
He got a Baylor gig out of the deal without Baylor signing one of his kids. Now his godson, Richard Hurd, got him on as a preferred walk-on because he was Tane's was his guardian. But see what happened? Byron Smith, he wasn't the coach at Christian Life, but he was with DeAndre Jordan. See what happened when he got a college gig. Carlos Wilson got a college gig. Yeah. That happens. That's reality. So I just wanted everybody to understand, as we root for it, the odds are not in place that if a school would have success and it would be sustained over an entire decade. That's why you see a lot of these guys come and go. Yeah. That's one of the reasons why.
Come in, win, and get out. And you cannot be mad at them for, they improving their family situation, their life.
Absolutely.
So it's like you say, it comes with the success. So, me, I don't plan on, leaving or going anywhere
right now,
or doing anything soon.
Yeah.
For the next couple of years,
Oh, we're down. We're not saying that, we're not saying to scare you. Yeah.
Let me tell you.
Yeah, I like building from scratch. I'm one of those build your own. Y'all two know it. Like just like with Cougs, I like when everything against me. I like when it don't look like it's gonna work out. I like that. It challenges me, it motivates me, and I'm ready for it. I'm excited for it. The guys are a little bit more excited than me because they don't realize what you just said, Jimmy. They don't understand. Like, look, we gotta go kick butt. And I tell them every day after practice. I like, listen, we have to win. We have to look a certain way for this to sustain where we trying to go to, for us to get to where we trying to go to. Because we got transfers in. We got a good schedule. and we got, you know, a nice school facility, but this is only the beginning. Like, we're not satisfied. We're not happy that this all happened. Like, we understand we got to work. And like, one thing about me, I don't stop working. Like, I work all day, every day. I'm obsessed with trying to be the best. So like, I don't stop working at all. So I think that gonna work in our favor because it got to.
Sooner or later, it'll turn in your favor. It's turning around for me.
What the hell?
Yeah, don't worry about me, boy. Yeah. That's my song.
Oh my God. Oh. Say,
man, hey, I had a ball, man. Hey,
now,
I just
now,
go on,
now
Jim. What else you got?
I got.
You come on, man.
The
The man got to go somewhere, man. That's a busy man. He try. Hold up. He got a McDonald's All-American. He trying to go get. Wait a minute.
Hey.
Or hold up. Or develop. I heard about your son.
And that's one aspect. We got really good kids in our program right now, and like, who knows? Who knows? I'm always working. It's not over. It's not done. We'll be talented.
Man, I can't wait.
And
Come on, Jimmy. Come on, Messi Marvin.
So take it back to on your grassroots sector. Okay. You played, and it just snapped to me. You played roughly about a half of a summer on the sneaker circuit. You didn't play the whole season with the Houston Hoops, right?
Yeah, I did.
It was the whole season?
Yeah, I played the whole season.
Okay, I remember Michael Morris was there at first.
Yeah.
And Michael Morris left, was a great exception.
Yeah, he played with us.
Then he left, and then you still. So you were there when Michael Morris was there.
Yeah, I was there with Mike.
Okay. Now that program, that team.
I'm sorry.
Daniel Gibson.
Yeah.
Mine. Michael Morris went to Colorado State.
Yeah.
Yourself, Wichita State.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Rose went to BYU.
Yeah.
Justin Benson, New Mexico.
Mm-hmm. Elijah Hill, Elijah Miller. Where was Elijah?
Elijah Miller went to U of A.
Hugo.
Indy Eby went straight out to the pros, committed to Arizona, went straight out to pro. And Hugo Ihekwu signed with Wofford, ended up at, I think, Cornell.
Cornell, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if he played basketball. When he played Wofford, he did. And then he realized he wanted to go into the medical field where he's a doctor right now.
Yeah.
And that was the whole entire team.
And Nick Wise was on that team.
Well, they brought Nick Wise up just to get his feet wet.
Get Nick his crust.
He probably was the first that actually played 17U on that type of circuit.
How
let him
was
come
Nick?
in.
How old was Nick?
Was a freshman.
9th grade.
Okay.
He was going to the 9th grade.
Okay. He was an 8th grader going into the 9th. He was a 14U, and the Hoops did reward, and they started a trend, and that's what. Because back then you did not play up. You did not play up unless it was a very rare circumstance. Yeah. Normally you play with the team. They pluck you up every now and then. Now that team, every single senior signed and played Division I basketball, which is rare. Compare that team to some of the local grassroots teams, the sneaker teams, what you're seeing of today.
I don't know, man. It was tough. It's tough to compare as far as like how talented we was, because if you tell anybody to name top 10, top 15 high school players ever, 3 of them on the list with Tack, Daniel Gibson, and Indy Eby. So it's hard to compare, a team. I remember we was at the EYBL thing last year, Jimmy, and you was like, us versus the Texas Titans would have been a really good game. Because, it's hard, man. We were so talented. Like, we went through that whole summer. I think we maybe lost, 5 or 6 games? We was killing people. We didn't lose to nobody, no other team in Texas. I could literally name our losses, I think. I think we lost to all Ohio red twice or something like that. Like it was crazy. I think it had to be one of the most underrated teams that get talked about is when they start naming greatest teams ever assembled, because like we did some unbelievable things. We won every tournament we was in. We went to the Final Four at Peach Jam. We lost to all Ohio in the Final Four. We played everybody, Shannon Brown, everybody. So it was a fun experience. It opened my eyes up to a lot of things, not only basketball side of things, but the political side of things. And it was a really good summer. I had a blast with those guys. I think they all say the same thing. It was probably one of the best summers of our lives that summer. So it's hard to compare them because the eras and the generations are different too, because it was no YouTube, it was no Take My Talent, it was no Baller's Life, it was no, so it wasn't any respect factor given to the opponent or opposing team. So like when you meet these guys and you play against these guys, you don't know. I didn't know who they were until after we graduated and we went to college. I was like, oh, I played against him. Oh, I played against him. Oh, I played against him. So like you got to factor in a whole bunch of stuff, and it's just hard to compare eras anytime you're doing anything because the eras are so much different.
Alan, did you hear that?
The eras were different.
That was Gregory Hines being performed by PJ Coons.
Oh yes, sir.
In a great tap dancing act.
But I know he was. Hey, that's why I started typing over here.
What you want me to?
You was taking too long. You was taking too long. That's why I started typing. I started to play some violin music.
Hey, I didn't know what you want me to say. Like if I had to pick a team to, it's Cougs Elite. If I had to compare them to somebody, it's gonna be us. I think we probably did what that hoops teams did. So other than that, I don't think there's any comparison.
And there you have it. And of course, a lot of you guys, conversation with PJ Coonsnord, great job. Did a lot of you guys? I'm looking at. Somebody's asked me why can't the brother be like Steve Smith at Oak Hill? Steve Smith at Oak Hill has a sneaker sponsorship and gets a check from Nike as a consultant every year for the past 20 years. He has his own personal apparel contract. That as a result of having numerous McDonald's.
No. He ain't talking about the way Steve is now. He talking about just keep on and stay with that team for a long time. That's what I think they were talking about.
That's what made him stay there, because he got enough supplemental income.
How you know PJ ain't gonna get all that? If he keep messing around with me, he gonna get it. All he gotta do is call me.
Ain't nobody saying something. It still comes with the players come first.
Yeah.
Okay, we got to get the players. Okay. Like I said,
come first.
I got you, PJ.
They're not no deal without the players, and the player, just because you got the best players in Houston does not. We will see based on what they do this season how that translates to the rest of the country. You know what I'm saying? The compatibility, because it could be depending on what season and how they gel together. It really depends on a lot and how they respond. And bottom line, they got to win.
Got to win.
Okay.
To win.
Okay.
Hey,
and it comes with territory. The criticism will be amplified because people will say, "See, I told you." Then that means for you, you just got. Of course, you got to keep on pushing and keep on. Stay optimistic. Those kids have to understand. If you can perform well, being motivated by haters, this is your prime opportunity when you put on that jersey of legacy, because the hating is going to be in full premium.
Yeah, without a doubt.
And where you play at, and do we expect you guys to go undefeated? No, but how you respond after a loss is going to truly, over a period of time, maybe a couple of losses, how you bounce back is going to dictate those players and as far as they're going into the next level. But I definitely appreciate it, PJ. You did great job.
Let him have some last words, Jimmy. He got some last words he wants to say.
I just wanted to say it again. The project that I'm working on with my neighborhood and my community, the the ourblackvision.com, like it's something that I'm proud of. We just basically getting our businesses together, getting our companies together, and putting money back into our community as far as education systems, providing different aspects and different things for kids to have every avenue in our community. Like I said, it's a company by a lot of us. I get a lot of guys my age, stuff like that. So we just really want to change this community and change, things that's been happening on in the world today. So I just want everybody to try to support it, even if, either any way you can support it, because like I said, it's basically rebuilding our own community. And it's not like, oh, these sports athletes or these entertainers are saying, oh, I donated 200,000 here and there, and the people in the neighborhood never see it. How many times we gonna fall for that in our community? How many times we gonna fall for that as Black people? And how many times we gonna fall for that as far as the entertainers and the athletes that's giving all these money to these Boys and Girls Club donations, Red Cross, and all that stuff? And our streets been the same. We giving all this money to churches and to everything, and our streets still the same. It's still wars going on internal in our neighborhood that we gotta stop. But we giving, like you say, we giving the wrong people that's in the right position the wrong accountability. Like, we're not holding them accountable for being in the position they are to change stuff and not changing it. We just steady falling by the wayside. So ourblackvision.com is a step forward in the way of changing things, and everybody won't change, and everybody want to fight for change. This is your way of providing action for change. If you got a Black-owned business in the city or in our neighborhood, sign up for it. Like I say, we want to put money back into our neighborhoods, not into our pockets, into the neighborhoods, into these kids, into our futures.
I'm looking it up right now.
Well said, man. Sure. And thanks for that. And that website again is ourblackvisions.com. Ourblackvisions.com. And want to thank you, PJ, and also want to invite you to take the pledge as a high school coach to step forward in assuring that all of your seniors who are 17 years and 10 months old will be registered to vote. And that's one of the things that I'm asking for grassroots coaches, high school coaches alike. It's if you're under the TEA, it is a legal right for that's in the books for students to be provided with voter registration cards. But many, and one of the staffers must be deputized to do so, but many of the schools do not exercise that, which is a right for the students. I want to once again invite you, challenge you as a high school and a grassroots administrator in the basketball sector to take up the initiative, get those kids registered to vote. You can't. We're not necessarily caring who they vote for. That's not is as important as the registering to vote itself, because you do that, you've done it for a lifetime.
But what is important, PJ, is after you encourage them to vote, if you can't do it, let's get somebody that's in the city council or somebody that's in office to educate, and we need to educate them on what and whom they're voting for, what the issues are. We just can't give them the gun and not teach them what to do with the gun. We just can't give them a tool and not teach them what to do with it. Voting is a tool. We can't teach them. We got to educate them because it's a powerful tool. It's a not tool that we can't take for that you can take for granted. We need to research the council members. And when you call me, I'll help you with it. The school board, the city officials, the Texas Congress, the next step. So we just can't encourage them to vote, and they just like that. Okay, what I do? I'm encouraged, and then we got to empower them with all of this knowledge to teach them how to teach others the process. You got to understand. I learned from this AAU basketball these kids recruit each other better than any adult can.
Anything.
You follow me? So
Mhm.
and we want to encourage and empower them to, guess what, PJ, to be the next candidates coming up. Y'all, there's some young men around this country that young that's running for office, and they're making a difference. So let's not, people are talking about, yes, the number one thing to get them, you got to encourage them to vote. Then the next step is to educate them on who and what and why, and then empower them. So, Coach, don't forget that. It's just not one process. Voting is a heck of a tool. People has died. I'm going to show you how important it is, PJ. In Kentucky, they got one polling place for 600,000 people. And them folks stayed in line. They tried to cut it off at 7 o'clock. That young guy went and got an injunction. And everybody in line was able to vote. Voting is so powerful that Mitch McConnell, that's his Secretary of Wood, he got those voting polls because the politics control the voting booths. So stuff like this, the kids need to be educated on it. See, if you tell them, PJ, how important that thing was in Kentucky, that 600-some thousand people had, guess what? Now you are encouraging them and educating them how important the vote is. You follow me? It's very important. So, but get with me. I'll help you make that happen. So, Jimmy, what else? You got anything else to say before you leave?
No. That's just it right there.
Okay.
I'm out. It's time to land this plane, guys. And as you guys know, we'll be back at it on Monday.
Yes, sir.
And thanks a bunch for everybody who tuned into the Chop Shop. Great combo, great dialogue. And if you got in late, how about this? You have the opportunity to go back.
Yes, sir.
And watch the show, and you can scroll back to a point you may have missed. And the thing about when you watch the replays is that you also will be able to reply to any comment that you see on the message board. And that's either on the YouTube or the Facebook. You can reply. And if you reply, it would tag that person you replying to, and they would know you've replied. So that's a good thing to keep the conversation going through the weekend. We also invite everybody to come on back and join us on Monday.
Yeah.
And we'll spend another special guest for you, and we're going to keep the conversation going and help you guys out. Also, lastly, I want to remind you that we will open up and we will, I guess, be taking another intern for July. So we have a college student who's majoring in communications or journalism or broadcast. Then send us an email to chopshophtx@gmail.com. chopshophtx@gmail.com. This is one type of an experience, and it also helped them with their towards their degree plan, being an intern with the Chop Shop. So, of course, right now, it is indeed time to yap through this thing. Up on slide on down. Dino's back. That's what we about to do on this Baby Friday. Shout out to everybody. Thanks once again so much for tuning into the Chop Shop. Have a safe weekend. Most important, to be smart out there, guys. Be smart as opposed to where you go and what you do. And most importantly, the ordinance is in place. Wear your mask upon entering any business if you must do so. See you guys on Monday. On behalf of Robert Allen, Jim Hicks, we up out of here.
All right.
Jim Hicks, Rob Hatter. You are now tuned in to the Chop Shop. I'm Retro. Let's get it. We in the Chop Shop. We live in the Chop Shop. Sports talk. We live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up. It's live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. We live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the Chop Shop.